After months of speculation and waiting, Azerbaijan have finally released their name and song. It is Samra with the song Miracle.
Gonna take a miracle. Oh, gonna take a miracle to heal this love.
She's a two-time voice competitor, competing on the voice of Turkey and Azerbaijan. Mikey, what are you thinking? Is this song a miracle in your eyes? Yes, I went the cheese route.
This is a massive miracle. This, for me, is what I have been missing in Eurovision this year. There's something about this song that just completely takes my breath away. I remember I was in Stockholm last weekend for Melodifestivalen, and I was having breakfast and I was swiping through Twitter, and they're like, "Oh, Azerbaijan has released its song." So I was like, "Oh, great." So went back up to the hotel room with my friend and we put it on the speaker. And within the intro of the song, the first few seconds, I was like, "Oh." And you could just tell within that first few seconds, this is going to be good. And then there's that build up with the verses to the chorus, and it's building and it's building, and then she slams into the chorus, and oh my God, this for me is such a standout song where it's so current and it's so powerful as well. And I think everyone was a bit iffy when it came to Azerbaijan last year. The last two entries have not been on par with their usual standard, and the results have reflected on that at Eurovision. But they have clearly decided, right, we need to get ourselves sorted this year. And they have picked one hell of a song to do it. I mean, the momentum through the song as well, it carries on. You do not get bored of this song. It progresses. And even though there's not like a big key change or anything like that, this is a song that doesn't need it. Two things I point out with this song. I think some of it is to do with the writing team behind the song, obviously being a Swedish song. I really think this was entered into Melodifestivalen and got rejected. I really see how this would have applied for it. And I also think, I don't know if anyone else is thinking this is the perfect follow-up for Helena Paparizou to have sung from Survivor. It's the same sort of structure. The boom into the chorus is near enough the same. So that's why I think this was originally put forward for Melodifestivalen. It just has a very, very, very similar feel to Helena Paparizou Survivor. But I love that song, and I love this song. Its chances at Eurovision, this is an easy qualifier in the first semi-final. This is one of the absolute safest. I mean, it's a current pop song with a good singer. When's that never gone down well? In terms of the final, I would like to see Azerbaijan back in the top 5 with this. To be honest, I'd be very happy to see them win the contest. I think they've got an outstanding song. We know they're going to put the staging into the song as well. They really want to do well this year. And this is a tricky one because Azerbaijan have proved in the last 2 years they're not as safe as we always thought they were. I think we always thought that they could have read the telephone book and finished in the top 10 because they were Azerbaijan. But they proved that was wrong last year, and they really need to put the effort in to do well. But I think they're back on track to do incredibly well in Stockholm with this song.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a very, very good song. It's a very radio-friendly song. I know that word's thrown around a lot, but it is. It sounds right at home on any radio. Like, in America, it would sell well. Britain, it would sell well, which will translate into points when people who aren't Eurovision fans, like mega fans, will sit down and watch it. I think, you say, lyrically it's very empowering, people can relate themselves to it, in senses like that, with what she's saying. I do find it a little bit repetitive, and after a minute 45, I do think you've heard as much as you are going to hear, like nothing much changes. That's just my opinion. People might be so blown away by it, they're still entranced by it, but by then I start to wane out. I don't like how she keeps going mirror, mirror, miracle, because it sounds like she's saying, I need a mirror, which to me just sounds funny in my head. It's just like, so you need a mirror to get yourself out of this. Okay, whatever floats your boat, Samra. But like I said, it's a brilliant song. You know, for Azerbaijan, who we always had them very high up. Like we never thought they could fail until Delaria and Elna happened. And even with Elna, everyone thought it was going to do very well, and it didn't.
I genuinely thought it was going to be in the top 5.
I think a lot of people
did. I was so
did.
surprised to see them do so bad, and I think it was the fact that the Czech Republic did higher in the televote in the semi-final that really struck you how poor this song did.
I think it is good, all it is. Like I said, my main issue, and Azerbaijan go over the top with staging, and this song does not need any gimmick.
This doesn't need it at all.
Ever since Elliot Mikey have won, they've always done something a bit OTT, and it's been getting worse as the years have gone on. So I am worried what they're going to do, and because it's such a big stage, I worry they are going to put something else in there, because when you saw with Copenhagen, Galaria didn't need anything else, but they thought, let's just put in a trapeze artist. But whereas you look at, say, Ella Nikki, because it was a smaller stage, they didn't put anything on there. They just had them and their backing vocalists. But then in Malmö, they had the bloke in the box and the girl with the world's biggest train. I am a bit worried about what it's going to do, but I do think it's going to be fine. I do think they should just give her some backing vocals, because she's not the strongest vocalist live. I found some stuff of her from The Voice, and she wasn't the strongest, so she might have improved. We don't know. I want this to do well because I really enjoy the song, but I'm not sure how it's going to do. And that's just because there's so many strong songs. Any other year, you could easily call it this. It's a bit more wishy-washy.
I think in terms of its staging, we're going to see something a little bit better this year. I think in terms of the songwriters who are on board with this song, they're very experienced in Melodifestivalen and how to stage a song. You know, Henrik Rexton, he was a big part of the production for when Carola sang Invincible in the final 10 years ago. You know, these people know what they're doing, and they know not to go OTT with this. I believe Henrik as well was actually one of the composers of Survivor for Helena, which, you know, brings the familiarity with the song. And I think obviously you can't completely replicate it because it will just look ridiculous, but I can see a stage in how Helena's sung Survivor, very similar to this, very simple. I like the idea of her being alone on stage with the backing vocalists in the back so you can't see them. And I can see this working very well. I think as long as they get the staging right for this song, it shouldn't really have any problems. I think what we have to bear in mind with Elna, ORF really didn't help him last year in terms of the camera angle and the production of it. I think that was one of the biggest problems in terms of the song, why it didn't translate well onto the TV screens, whereas this is SVT. We know, along with Swedish people who were working with Azerbaijan this year, they're going to put a very good production and show together. So it may happen. They may not do as well as they have done in recent years again, but I think this is minimal top 10.
I won't be surprised if it gets there, and comparing it to last year, it's streets ahead of Hour of the Wolf. Although everyone said it was a top 5 and loved it, I could not get into Hour of the Wolf, really. I struggled. I don't know why, but I just couldn't enjoy it as much as some of the other songs. And I think this is a massive step up. It's going to do better. It's one of Azerbaijan's best entries ever since they've been in the contest. You know, even though it's only been a few years, it's still one of their best. So I think it's going to do well. I can't see any reason why it wouldn't until we see it in the semi-final.
We'll have to see in May.
Yeah, so good luck Azerbaijan, and see what happens in Stockholm.